seatbelts are fastened. Lou Williams for the win. Bingo!
Oh my goodness.
By Landry, Ariza drop down. Kobe! Oh! Up high! Down hard! Kobe Bryant!
They do have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry!
Kawhi aggressive to the right.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another post-game live here on Dime Dropper for the 2024-25 season. Before we get started, you already know the drill. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube at Dime Dropper and follow your boy on social media at Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Dime Dropper Pod. As my boy Bones got busy said already in the chat, there's an app called Cooler that I can see who's listening to my podcast episodes, whether it be Locked On Clippers or Dime Dropper, so that way I can keep track of who's listening to multiple episodes in a row, all that stuff, and we can interact better, and I can show you guys more appreciation. So download the app Cooler. It's free. And then, use the invite code DIME as well. But anyway, tonight we got one game to talk about. I just want to apologize to my Laker fans. The Clippers and the Lakers have just been playing on the same exact day, like every single day, so I haven't been able to watch the Laker games, but I will give you guys something very soon. I promise you that, whether it's on Basketball in Figueroa or this weekend. But tonight, one game to talk about on this Friday night. I had club practice during the game, so I had to come back, watch the recording, and then get on live. Clippers, Sacramento Kings, and your LA Clippers are undefeated on the road this season. And how about three solid opponents? The Golden State Warriors, the Sacramento Kings, and the Denver Nuggets. All three teams last year were either play-in teams or playoff teams, and we have beaten them all. And you know where we have to start? With Norm. This guy is playing at an all-star level right now. It's only been 9 games, but going into this game on Friday night, he was averaging 25 points a game on 53, 48.5, 86 splits. I'm going to repeat that. 25 points a game on 53, 48.5, 86 splits, and he's shooting 8.5 threes a night, and we were a 500 team. Now we are above 500 and going on to Saturday night where we got Toronto, and your boy will be there. And by the way, if you are not tuning in to the vlogs, you are missing out big time. We've had a record number of fans come interact with your boy this season. It's been awesome getting their perspective. One of them is right here. That was just in the last video. Shosh, what's going on? He says, hey, it was great seeing you in the Sixers game. I'm a huge fan of your content. Brother, thank you so much. We cannot do it without people like yourself. So I appreciate you for being in the video and everybody that wants to be in the video. But Norman Powell, he's doing some things that we just haven't seen him do as a Clipper. And it's funny because I root for everyone on the Clippers. I give my honest opinion. Some stuff ages well. Some stuff does not age well. And it feels like Norman Powell this season, and I'm obviously joking here, but it feels like he's literally listening to what I'm saying. He's like, you said I can't do this? All right, I'm going to show you I can. Here's what we've gotten this season. I previously said, Norman Powell, he's very right-hand dominant. He's not great going left. Well, he still is very right-hand dominant, and he's amazing going right. But he even had this left-handed layup today in traffic off the glass, and I was just like, what the fuck am I looking at right now? And he's not missing shots, quite frankly, like from anywhere. He's hitting contested threes. By the way, that sidestep that he hits, when he's sizing dudes up, pulling up for three, hand in the face, water right now. And then last game, how about some of those live dribble passes? The between the legs to split two defenders in that pick and roll lob. I'm sorry, it was a kick out to Terance. And he posted a clip on his Instagram today where he had that exact same move for UCLA. Then there was another one where he rejected a screen left to right the other night and then lobbed it up to Derrick Jones Jr., who went up to the Intuit Dome ceiling for it. Today, we saw even more pick and roll juice. And here's the thing about Norm right now, right? When teams are in drop coverage, especially when Zoo is setting the screen, you have to step up on Norm. That drop coverage right now is a suicidal decision as a coaching staff because Zoo is a very good screener. I give him a shout out on the last Locked On Clippers episode. His screening has been so good, and it always has been. But when Norm's coming off those screens and the bigs are in drop coverage like Sabonis was tonight and Alex Len was tonight, He's literally walking into threes. Teams are going to have to start blitzing that because he's just going to continue to keep draining. I mean, if you keep giving Norm open threes, he will continue to drain. Tonight, another 30-plus point game from number 24, 31 points. And then another thing I kept criticizing him for, he doesn't box out at all. And it's funny because I guess I'm not the only one that said that. According to the man himself, Norman Powell, Jeff Van Gundy said to him, I need to see you rebound the ball because he didn't box out at times against Philly. So I'm not the only one seeing it. 12 rebounds tonight. The first double-double of his 10-year career. Not only the first double-double, 8 straight games of 20-plus points. I mean, this guy is playing at a different level right now. The live ball, the live dribble passing, and then the defense. On ball, I thought he was fantastic tonight. Really good closeouts, not overrunning the guy he's closing out on, getting chest to chest. He's not letting guys just run around him easily. He's trying to stay on their hip, trying to body up. His off-ball awareness was good. His attention to detail has just been sharp all the way around. There's literally nothing bad I can say about him right now. He's hitting those runners in drop coverage. That curl going to his right that everybody knows about is bread and butter. I don't have enough superlatives at this point. I've run out of them. I was watching the game and I was literally laughing tonight. I was literally laughing at how good he was. It's unbelievable. So let's talk about the overall game, right? Sacramento, not an easy team. I watched their opening game against the Wolves, which they lost. I also watched their game against the Lakers, in which we talked about on this channel, where LeBron, that was the last Laker. Well, I did do a post game with Edwin after Lakers lost their first game of the season to the Phoenix Suns. But the last me solo Laker live was the LeBron takeover game against the Kings. So the Kings are 0-3 when I watched them this season. So that's an interesting wrinkle in the Kings storyline with me. But to start the game, we had Terance on De'Aaron Fox, Derrick Jones Jr. on DeMar DeRozan for that added length, Zoo on Sabonis, Norman Powell on Kevin Huerter, James Harden on Keegan Murray. I almost said Jamal Murray. And then Zoo in drop coverage guarding Sabonis, as I said. And it was in the first quarter, it was James Harden that started out hot. He hit a 3-ball. He got fouled on a 3. He split the pick and roll for a layup, and he had 7 free throws in the first quarter. He had a buzzer beater, too, after a steal to make it 34-28 after 1, and he had 15 points in the first quarter. Now, the only thing I'll say about Harden in the first quarter is this. He was great. He set the tone. But I'm going to say this, right? James Harden, because he's on my team, I'll ignore it. But that whole first half, he was trying to get a foul every time. Like I as a basketball fan, and again, this channel is more basketball first, even though it's a Clippers and LA sports channel. It's Clipper and Laker focused, but obviously I'm a Clipper fan, so you're going to get more Clipper content than anything. But I'm a basketball fan first and foremost. That's the reason why my channel is not Clip Dropper. It's Dime Dropper. And I do Locked On Clippers for the Clippers only. Because it's about the game. And what James Harden does, it's like, there's a reason why he hasn't won to me. And it's not because of other factors. It's because he does the same shit in the playoffs and he doesn't always get the call. So the hand check, right? A very subjective call throughout NBA history. Obviously now it gets called more than ever before. When a guy is hand checking, Harden does this thing where first of all, that is illegal by the letter of the law to hand check, to have a hand on a player as he's driving. And what Harden does is he uses his off arm that he's not dribbling with to hook the defender's arm and then go into his body as if he got fouled. That, in the playoffs, that could easily be called a charge. And again, Norman Powell does very similar things. They both get the calls. It just frustrates me because a lot of players don't do those things and they don't get calls. Zubac gets hammered and pushed around the basket and gets absolutely nothing. So that's very frustrating to me. But again, he's on my team right now, so I'll take it. I also think James Harden's the only player in NBA history that every time he's taken a contested jumper, he's been fouled. I'm obviously joking. But the point is, 90% of the time he takes a contested jumper, he either jumps forward and kicks his legs out, he either flails his hand or his arms, or the times that he does go straight up and down, he'll lean forward to try to follow his shot, and then he doesn't get back. So it's hard watching him for me personally. but he's having a better season than his stats would suggest. I'm going to defend him because I'm not a big stat guy. And without James Harden, we would be 0-8 honestly, in my opinion, or 0-9. We literally would be nowhere without him. I think his shot creation is so valuable. He's a pick and roll maestro. I just can't stand watching him play very much, but I'm still going to be objective about what he's doing and what we need from him. We need him to be good. But the foul baiting was outrageous at times in that first half. In the third quarter, though, I thought he made some good plays. I think when James is acknowledging that, look, the mid-range is there, I got to take it, he becomes a lot more well-rounded and just, he doesn't let the defense off the hook as much. So even though some of those shots were short after that first quarter where he was really, really good, he still was taking the right shots, and that's important. I also liked his hit-ahead passes throughout the game. He's done a good job of looking for those throughout the season so far, and made some good reads in pick and roll as always, hitting the roller, hitting the open three ball. So it's a good start for Harden. Kings were switching 1 through 4, Sabonis and drop as we figured. How about Derrick Jones Jr. starting the game off with 2 threes? But yeah, second quarter. So Ty Lue, again, not going with Kai Jones, going with a small ball second unit. So when you see that, you know what he's trying to do. He's trying to switch everything. So when we try to switch everything, that's to make the Kings play more one-on-one ball. And absolutely, it absolutely worked. Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me address something. Listen, dude, it's very easy to call somebody names behind a screen. Very easy to call someone names behind a screen. I don't have any respect for people like that. You're on my channel. I got my mods. We'll kick you out very quickly. If you have a problem with what I'm saying about basketball, you can speak up, but don't fucking talk to any Clipper fans about you shouldn't be booing Paul George. Every fan has the right to do whatever the fuck they want to do, and you can come see me at the games if you want to have a problem with me. I'm outside the arena, above the bridge after every game. All you pussies online, don't ever show up to the games when I call you out to come press me in real life. You never do, because you're all from some butt-fuck nowhere town in the middle of nowhere supporting these grown millionaires that don't know you fucking exist. So stay off my back, or I'm going to get my chat to block your ass right now. Okay. So anyway, let's continue talking about the game. In the second quarter, as I said, no Kai Jones. People, let me know how you feel about that. No Kai Jones. And again, let me know how you feel. We were trying to pick on Alex Len. That was clearly the idea from Ty Lue is, look, Alex Len's going to be in drop coverage. So we're going to run like a 5-out kind of scheme with Nico, Amir, Chris Dunn, KPJ, and Norm out there on the second unit. And in the first half, and for most of the game, Norm and James were being staggered, which means that one of them was in at all times. And Norm just started hitting crazy shots, man. That pull-up threes on the size that I was talking about. He's coming off screens and walking into his mid-range. I just love how he's just embracing what the defense is giving him, whether it be the floater, the mid-range, the pull-up three. He's doing it all. We know what he can do off the catch and off that curl. And the crazy part is in the first quarter was all Harden. It was no throw it down to Zoo. It was no Norman Powell curl. But again, the fact that Norm is playing like another star, I was very worried about how are we going to create shots when James is off the floor? How are we going to create shots if Harden has a bad game? Well, here's the craziest part. We're 5-4, and James Harden hasn't had many good shooting games at all. And that's definitely partially because he's getting the best defender on a given night every single night. But eventually, he's going to start making shots. And eventually what could happen at this rate is that the number one defender on teams is guarding Norm and not James Harden anymore. I mean, the way Norm is playing right now, it's legitimately like having a second star. And with the way Zubac is playing, I mean, Zubac has been borderline all-star caliber as well this season. And I have a lot to say about Zoo right now in this one. By the way, before I get into Zoo, Terance Mann, I have to address this. He's making me look very wrong right now. He's making me look very wrong because I said that the contract was a good deal. It's good for today's value. As long as he doesn't have a slump to begin the season just like last year and loses his confidence, then it'll be worth it. Right now, he is literally having that exact same kind of slump where he's second-guessing every single one of his shots, and offensively, it's making him look very uncomfortable. I can sense an unconfident player from a mile away. And I think defensively he was solid outside of getting beat backdoor one time. And, of course, he's guarding De'Aaron Fox, so naturally he's going to get blown by here and there. But defensively, as I said with Terance, he's never going to be too bad. He'll foul out of the game before he gets played off the floor. But I thought he took the right shots offensively, but there were times where he's literally like, I think it was Harden threw him an outlet. He caught it under the rim. And it's like, bro, if you get blocked, you get blocked, but go up. He's not shooting the ball. There was one time where he actually ran a pick and roll. And again, I'm totally up for Terance Mann to run more pick and rolls with him as the ball handler, because I think that mid-range is there for him a lot. And he comes off the screen and he's got the wide open shot. And it took him like 2 extra seconds before he took it. And I'm just going to say this. Terance is not playing with confidence. If by game 15, he still hasn't found his rhythm. See, I was going to say move him to the bench, but here's the thing. We need more on the bench right now. So I might just keep him on the starting lineup. But he's not untouchable by any means if he's going to continue to play like this. And here's my frustration with Terance is like, you're in year 6 now, bro. Like you're 27. I'm sorry, you're 28 years old. You have the support of the fan base. And again, I encourage the people with big Twitter accounts to make sure, like, you can criticize him all you want, but the stuff about he sucks, he's bad, all this, like, look, he could easily see it. We know Terance is fairly active on socials. Just know that we don't want him to be less confident because he's given us so much. He's given us so much as a franchise. But it's very evident he's not playing with any confidence right now. And I'm hoping he can snap out of it. But the only way he can snap out of it is by being aggressive. And here's the thing. He's got to be okay with going 0 for 6 or something. Tonight he was, 0 for 4? But he could have taken more shots. The thing is, he had the highest plus minus of anyone on the team, which, again, single game plus minus is not a great statistic. He was a plus 17. But here's what I always say about Terance. He's going to rebound. He's going to do the little things. He'll rarely ever be a major net negative. He just won't. He'll always help, which is why teams won't take him out of the starting lineup because the data's good. And I don't believe that's coincidence. Because when people are saying he's just doing cardio, again, you know what he's not doing? The stuff that when KPJ does things that are wrong, he doesn't do that. He doesn't take away from anyone else. So that's something that matters. Jeremiah Gonzalez asks, Wall going to start T-Man chance to get that confidence up? We're going to try. I love to hear that. Coming up, though, after the break, we are going to talk more about Ivica Zubac and his incredible rim protection and the second half. We had solid defense overall in that first half, and we were up at the half by a score. By the way, 17-17 in the second quarter, so very low scoring. We were up 51-45 at the half. And now, a word from Mint Mobile, who this video is in partnership with. Take it away, Mint. Ever wanted to cut back on your monthly bills? You've got health insurance, you got different kinds of insurance, you got your TV, cable, you've got your phone bill, you've got your electricity, and you want to cut down, simplify that. Well, that's why I'm so intrigued by Mint Mobile, who this video is in partnership with. They offer premium wireless for just $15 a month. I can get high-speed data and unlimited talk and text on the nation's largest 5G network. I can even bring my own phone along with my current phone number and existing contacts, so I'm not sacrificing anything. I've used Mint Mobile, and the thing about Mint Mobile is it's not hard to switch your service. Big Wireless wants you to think it's hard, but it's really not. Switching to Mint is super easy. Thanks to digital eSIM cards, which most phones now have, you can sign up and activate immediately right on your phone from the comfort of your home. If your phone doesn't have an eSIM, Mint will ship you a new SIM card for free. So if you want to save little money without the sacrifice, go to https://trymintmobile.com/dimedropper. That link will be in the description so you can get started. Switching your plan takes as little as 15 minutes. That's Mint Mobile. All right. So let's talk a little bit more about what we were seeing in that second quarter. Ivica Zubac, he was doing a great job finishing on the roll. And one thing I'm starting to see from him that's a real great sign, Clipper Nation, is that he's becoming so much more comfortable in that short roll. So when Harden gets blitzed and they throw 2 on the ball, Zubac before, he took a little second for his processing speed. But if you recall that game against Golden State earlier this season when he got the ball, looked to the wing, and Brandon Pajimski went flying over back to Santa Clara where he went to school, and Zubac went for a dunk. That's when I saw that his confidence in that short roll decision making is getting better and the game's just slowing down for him. Hold on. I totally forgot to turn my audio on there. So let me just rephrase what I was saying. We were starting to see in that second quarter that Zubac's short roll decision making is getting a lot better. When teams blitz Harden or Norman Powell, which they're going to start doing, you're starting to see Zoo become much more comfortable in that short roll. As I said, against the Warriors, he sent Brendan Krasinski, to the Golden Gate Bridge when he just looked away to the wing like he was going to pass. In this game, there was one play, he got it, made the pass so quickly to Derrick Jones Jr. It got out of his hands so quick, Zoo. And that just tells you the game is slowing down for him. And Derrick was able to make those 2 threes, and one of them was from that beautiful Zoo pass. So you're starting to see that, and it's going to unlock us so much more. What a lot of teams are doing right now is they're going under the screen on Harden because he's not elevating the same way that he once did. So they feel like they can get a good contest in there. And a lot of times they are. And a lot of times Harden's shots are short. And it's majorly because of the amount of, stuff he has to do when he's choosing to do. But one set that I really like, honestly, since we brought Harden into the organization, is when he starts out off the right-hand wing, and then he gets into that dribble handoff with Zoo, and you'll have Zoo curling to his right, because James is so good at making those, finding shooters in each corner or the wing, wherever it may be. And obviously, he's such a great passer to the roller. So you really just got to pick your poison there, with Harden and that dribble handoff. So a lot of times they'll have, this is the way I would do it as a coach. And then the Clippers already do it, but this is the best configuration for me. You have Terance bringing the ball up, you throw it to Zoo. Terance sets a little brush screen for James. So James gets a little head of steam. Then he comes off that second screen on the dribble handoff with Zoo. And then you have Norm on that left side wing. So if they sink from that side, you have one pass away, Norman Powell. And then you have Zoo on the opposite side curling and Terance Mann in that corner. If I'm other teams, I would sink off of Terance Mann and leave Zubac. Honestly, I would keep Terance on that wing. So it's a harder rotation. It's a longer rotation. But if I were teams, I would sag off of Terance and go tag the roller, which is Zubac, and force Harden to pass it to Terance. But if the way you can stop that play is you top block Harden because he will never back cut, in which case now you get into a dribble handoff with Norm on the weak side. That's the counter to it. So I think that's just a great play. And there was one really great out of timeout play by Ty and the coaching staff where Derrick Jones Jr. got a lob and Harden threw it. Harden definitely threw some great passes in this game, but Derrick Jones was just so solid. Derrick Jones will be at the 3-point line and he'll be guarding somebody off the ball. And as someone's driving middle, he'll just dig from the top and get his long ass arm on the ball. Like, it's pretty amazing. So I love watching Derrick Jones Jr. defend. I thought it was a really solid game for him, staying disciplined on DeRozan and not falling for his fakes. But I thought the Kings really let us off the hook a lot in this game. They shot a ton of contested jumpers, and I get it. We're switching a lot. We got good on-ball defenders. But when DeRozan was coming off screens against the likes of Norm or Harden, and even sometimes Terance, he was walking into mid-ranges. He was just missing. But I think the Kings did not work for good enough shots at times. Like, yes, they had the back cuts, and James Harden had such a bad defensive game. I mean, he gets a couple of strips, but he had like 4 times he was beat backdoor. His defense was dog shit. And most nights it's not very good. But so far this season it's been okay. Even Terance got beat backdoor one time. But Norm, Derrick Jones, their attention to detail was really good. I thought Terance overall was still pretty good defensively. Amir's off-ball defense has been really good in my opinion this season. Denying, hands active, super physical. And then Chris Dunn's been excellent defensively all season. But in the second half tonight, he committed some really cheap fouls. But overall, and then Nico comes in and he's like chest to chest with guys. But the man who I thought was by far the best defender for us tonight was Zoo. Not only was he making good reads out of the short roll, not only was he finishing around the basket with some incredible jump hooks. How about the grenade that Terance threw him? That was a terrible decision with 2 on the clock. And this fool Zoo hits a jump hook from like 15 feet out on the left wing. What was that all about? And then there was one on the baseline where he spun over the right shoulder and shot a left-handed jump hook. I was like, oh my God. After blocking shots and changing so many around the basket, the amount of shots that Zoo changes around the basket is crazy. And you know what he did such a great job of tonight is stepping up on those mid-ranges and getting a hand up on DeRozan and Fox. And that's one of the criticisms of Zoo defensively is, okay, yeah, you're playing drop coverage, but when guys are walking into open shots, you got to step up. He was stepping up and getting a hand up, and he was just phenomenal. Now, third quarter, as I said, Harden was looking for his mid-range. Zoo was changing shots. Harden did have some moments of lazy D. Norm had some moments of really good defense. Terance had no confidence, but Norm continued to be nuclear, making shot after shot coming off screens. It was amazing to watch. And then for a second, Ty went with no Norm or James Harden, which scared me a bit. But this is when I have to concede that what's his name was excellent. KPJ. KPJ has been getting a lot of criticism from a lot of our fans, and to be honest, rightfully so. He's like a 99-cent store Harden with no court vision. That's mean, isn't it? It's a little harsh, but I'd say that's the best way to put it. He does a lot of dribbling. And in the beginning, the first 3 quarters, he was doing absolutely nothing. His defense, though, I will say, has not been bad so far this season for what I expected. It's not been bad. But in the fourth quarter, he turned up. And this is why on Locked On Clippers, I said, even though I'm pro Bones, KPJ is not worse than Bones for sure. Like, I'm not ready to sit here and say with confidence that Bones is better than him. So I said, give KPJ till game 15. And this is why. This is why you give him till game 15. Because it started with that and one layup, that tough layup. And then he hit that mid-range when he had Alex Len on him. And that changed his confidence completely. Then he got downhill. He had a little transition bucket. So again, the game is all mental. The game is all confidence. And I'm not saying that KPJ lacks confidence, but a little extra, pep in your step when you see the ball go through the rim, that is huge. That's what Terance Mann needs right now really badly. But when we talk about confidence, so 9 straight points for KPJ, by the way, 9 straight points. And those 9 points were really big for us, really big. Because, with Harden out of the game, getting a rest, you need someone else besides Norm to get something going. But Norm just continued to be insane. Whenever we needed a big shot, he came through. But you know who else had a really good game today? And I've been saying that defensively he's very consistent, but offensively you don't know what you're going to get oftentimes. Amir Coffey. He's been definitely better than Terance so far this season. He's shooting the ball with much more confidence. And again, it's all just confidence, letting it fly. Then teams will respect you a little more. It's so blatant that Terance is in his own head right now. Like, it's so blatant. And that's the thing is, like, you can't have wavering confidence with having been in the league this much. And we support you so much. By the way, I'm going to respond to this comment right now. We definitely need Rockets KPJ. Amir Coffey, the account name, audio people, the account name that's commenting is named Amir Coffey. Here's the thing. Rockets KPJ was 20 points per game on a shitty team. So, like, this is Rockets KPJ to me with less usage. And yes, Hoop Arj says, with Mann, making and missing is one thing, but him not even wanting to shoot hurts. Absolutely. And again, that's really all in his head. There's nothing more to say than that. But Amir, he was excellent, just excellent to end the game tonight. Both ends of the floor. I think he's been really solid so far this season. 14 points, a rebound, a dime, a steal, no turnovers for Amir on 5 for 11 shooting and 2 for 6 from 3. The Kings did outscore us by 1 point in the third quarter, 28-27, but I still felt really good heading into the fourth quarter. We were up by 5. And as I said, the Kings, I thought, took some bad contested jumpers. Zoo was challenging every shot, it seemed. Like, just every shot. I just couldn't believe. I can believe his impact, but it's just like there are not enough words to compliment him with at this point. It's like, I hope the league is taking notice of it, because despite how good our point of attack defense is, he just totally bails guys out at times. We took a 16-point lead at one point. I believe it was 96-80. And then we got super careless and almost threw away the whole game. Like, oh yeah, by the way, who's going to get, I kept saying all season, who's going to get my last jersey? Norman Powell, is he jersey worthy? Time for a Norm jersey. I don't know about $225. I ain't spending no $225, but that 120 or whatever, 100 to 120, Norman Powell, by all means, I'm getting your jersey. And here's the thing. I've been a Norman Powell fan. In the 2014-15 NCAA season, he was the best player on UCLA Bruins. He was the best because Kyle Anderson had left. It was obvious he was the best. Him and my boy Jordan Adams. So I've always been a Norm fan, But seeing what he's doing right now is crazy. Josh asks, is it only me or are the jerseys and Clippers clothes hella expensive? I think most NBA jerseys that are like swingman look like that, Josh, are like 150, but I usually should be like 110 to 130, I feel like, not 150. Hoop R says, if Harden has a 50-point game, I want to see you in an Uno jersey. I said the only way I'm getting a Harden jersey is if we make it to the finals. 50 points? Do you think James Harden's incapable of having a 50-point game again? I feel like he this season, before this season, if you had asked me, I would have said that he's gonna have one because his usage is so high. At this rate, it looks like Norman Powell is more likely to have a 50-point game. But let's see, Harden. Damn, James Harden hasn't had a 50-point game since he was with the Rockets? Okay, then maybe I'm tripping then. Then okay, I'm sorry. Because that 45-point game he had in game 1 of the 2023 second round was very spectacular. But okay, what was the last time he had a 40-point game? Okay, StatMuse is so weird. Hoop R's, can you give me a check? When was the last time James Harden had a 40-point game? Yeah. Anyway, but late in the game, James Harden was leading the charge of nearly throwing the whole game away. He turned the ball over at half, and it was 2 times in this game he turned the ball over or thought he got fouled. He did not get back. That's my pet peeve. I call LeBron out for it all the time. One of my players, shout out, I'm not going to mention him by name, but I have a player that I coach in my club team, and he has that same tendency. And his favorite player is LeBron, go figure, where he'll turn the ball over and then he won't get back. And then I'll be like, yo, you better get your ass back. And he'll say, I got fouled. It's like, I know you got fouled. The ref didn't fucking call it. So get your ass back. But okay, here we go. Harden's last 4 40 balls are in the playoffs against Boston. All right, there you go. But that pass that Harden threw up the court, like that long outlet pass, that hit ahead, I mean, whatever you want to call it, was terrible. The worst time for it. So risky. And they got right back in it, made it a 4-point game, 98-94. And guess who hits the 3 to just make us feel a little more comfortable? Norman Powell takes the right side screen. And by the way, I love how Zoo and all the guys that are setting screens know, let's get Norm going to his right because he's so unstoppable. It reminds me of like an old school 60s player, because in the 60s and 70s, if you wonder why guys are, besides the dribbling rules, the dribbling restrictions, why guys are so much better going to their strong hands, it's because apparently, and I learned this from Willis Reed's book, is that they were taught to master the strong hand before they put in a lot of work on the weak hand, which today is totally different culture. It's, you emphasize the dribbling with both hands, even though a lot of guys still youth level, like one of the biggest things I see is kids are not working on their offhand dribble. Okay, Thomas Ortega. Dime glazing Harden now. Okay, after I'm done with this recorded portion, we're going to have a challenge. I'll bring you on stage for 5 minutes, Thomas Ortega. I'll bring you on stage, and we're going to quiz each other on Harden, and we're going to see who knows more about him. Because I guarantee you, I'll wax you, bro. I know James Harden's game. Just because I wasn't a huge fan of it, still am not, doesn't mean anything. Anyway, so that 3 was gigantic. And then how about Derrick Jones hitting another one? Like, how about Derrick Jones? He was huge in this game. So the fact that we punched back after we got hit with that, Sacramento push on the road and responded that way is just so great to see. And we won it. 107-98, 3-0 on the road. Light that fucking beam, baby. Light that fucking beam. 3-0, same record as the Kings overall with a 5-4 record. We shot 44% from the field. They shot 47%. They shot 11.5% from 3. And I'm telling you, not all of them were good shots. And they only took 26, which is not much for 2025 or 2020s basketball. We, for the 3rd consecutive game, shot 40+% from 3. So in the beginning, I kept talking about we don't have as good of a 3-point shooting team. But a lot of it starts with Norman Powell. And James Harden did shoot 50% from 3 tonight. He did not finish with a good shooting percentage, but he shot 50% from 3. So that helps a lot. 14 for 30 as a team. 3 straight games with 40+% from 3. 3 straight wins. And also, how about the free throw shooting? 91%, 21 for 23. Harden made all 9 of his. Norman Powell missed only 1, and Zubac missed 1 out of 2. Turnovers, though, we had 9 in the fourth quarter. We lead the league in fourth quarter turnovers right now. If there's one thing I have to say, it's that has to clean up, and it starts with the best player on the team, James Harden. And even though Norman Powell is playing like the best player, I'm not going to sit here because of a 9-game sample size and say that Norman Powell is better than James Harden. That is just not going to happen. But anyway, let's talk about the lines. First for the Sacramento Kings, they went 9 deep. Trey Lyles played 7 minutes, and I'm going to say this again. I do not know if Trey Lyles is good enough to be in this rotation. I just don't see him play well ever. He had a donut, 2 rebounds, and he was 0 for 3 from the field and 0 for 2 from 3. Alex Len played 9 minutes, and he was a -9 with 3 rebounds and a donut. I thought he got taken advantage of, and I don't know if he's good enough to be a backup. I think if they could upgrade in that backup front court, it would be nice. Keon Ellis played 19 minutes. He had 3 points, a rebound, and an assist, and a turnover on 1 for 3 shooting, with all his shots being threes. And then the man who's an instant bucket, an absolute microwave. I love his game. And even though he burned my UCLA Bruins in 2017 with his amazing shot making along with Fox, I still like him. Malik Monk, 17 points. But I am, by the way, for those wondering, who do I like more, USC, UCLA? Because my family did go to both. I am pro USC because of my dad going there when I was alive. But I will root for UCLA over any other team. Except for UMass. If they play my school, fuck no. And even Pepperdine, I have a little allegiance towards them because my mom and I work there. So, yeah. But UCLA, I'm still very pro UCLA. My sister went there. My dad went there. You know, the closest school to me. That or Pepperdine. It's close. Malik Monk, 17 points, 6 for 13 shooting, 0 for 3 from deep, and 5 for 5 for the line. Starters, Kevin Huerter, very quiet, very kept in check. We're switching 1 through 4 on all of his off-ball actions. 4 points for him, 2 for 5 in the field. He made both of his 2s and missed all 3 of his 3s. Then there was Keegan Murray, who was only 2 for 10 and 0 for 6 from 3. How about that? Light that fucking beam. 0 for 6 from 3. How about this? Besides De'Aaron Fox, the Sacramento Kings were a combined 1 for 21 from 3. Sorry, 1 for 20. 1 for 20 from 3 outside of De'Aaron Fox. That is putrid. And they shot well from the free throw line. I'm almost the exact same as us. We were 21 for 23. They were 21 for 24. So, yeah, Keegan Murray had 7 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, and a block on 2 for 10 shooting and 0 for 6 from 3. Then their big 3, DeRozan, was kept in check. First game this season where he scored less than 20 points. And the Kings had scored like 110-plus points in almost all their last couple games. Let me check for you. They scored 110-plus points in every game this season except for this one where they didn't even score 100. And that is because we have one of the best defenses in the league. And we all knew that before the season started. And now we're seeing it play out. DeRozan, 13 points, 6 assists, 2 steals, 2 turnovers on 5 for 12 shooting, 0 for 2 from 3, and 3 for 4 from the foul line. Sabonis, he was their best player for me. Him and Fox, you could argue it. 23 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, 2 turnovers on 9 for 12 shooting, 0 for 2 from 3, and 5 for 6 from the foul line in 38 minutes for Sabonis. I thought he was pretty good. And then Fox, 31 points. Didn't even feel like that, though. 31 points, 3 rebounds, 0 assists, 0. 7 turnovers. Wow. 7 turnovers, a lot. 7 out of their 13 on 12 for 20 shooting, 2 for 5 from 3, and 5 for 6 from the foul line. And then let's talk about the Clippers. Let's talk about the Clippers. 9 deep. Nico got the least amount of minutes and didn't get a shot off. 0 points, 4 rebounds. The plus-minus god, plus 13. He did have 4 fouls, which is part of why he didn't play that much, but he always finds a way to make a good impact, doesn't he? Chris Dunn, probably, maybe his least good game as a Clipper. Some cheap fouls. He had a donut, 3 rebounds, and an assist, but he offers good defense at all times. He shot 1 time. It was a 3, and he missed. KPJ, as I mentioned earlier, I don't know about his best game, but arguably his best game as a Clipper. He had 9 in the fourth quarter, 11 in the game. Did turn the ball over 4 times, though. He was 5 for 9 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3, and he made his only free throw on that and one. And then Amir Coffey, 29 minutes off the bench. He had 14 points, as I mentioned, 5 for 11 from the field, 2 for 6 from 3, and 2 for 2 from the line. Very solid start to the season for the Brewmaster. And then Terance, just 2 points, 5 boards. He did rebound, though. 3 assists. He didn't make some good passes. 0 for 4 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3, and made his only 2 free throws. He did have the highest plus-minus, though, as I said. And then Derrick Jones Jr., very solid game on both ends. 14 points, 4 rebounds, 2 steals. He was shooting about 37% from 3 heading into this game. And he's going to get an increase to that because he shot 5 for 8 from the field and 4 for 5 from 3 in this game. And if you can do that, I mean, God, one of the best role players in the league. I mean, of course, he's not going to average 80% from 3, but if he can shoot 37% or more from 3, he's going to be one of the best role players in the league. And then you've got the big 3 right now, and I'm going to call him that. Zubac, 13 points, 15 rebounds, 7 offensive rebounds, 5 assists, 2 blocks, and just 1 turnover on 6 for 9 shooting and 1 for 2 from the foul line. I love this guy. The longest tenured Clipper. He continues to be a double-double machine and protect the rim as well as very few guys in the league can. And then James Harden, Plumber Jim, good old Uno, the beard. 22 points, 4 boards, 8 assists, 2 steals, 7 turnovers. So that those turnover numbers are way too high. 5 for 16 from the field. So he started out really well, but he still didn't shoot well. 3 for 6 from 3, though, which is great to see because he's been struggling with the 3 ball. 3 for 6, and 9 for 9 from the foul line. And again, we just would not be here without James Harden's playmaking at all. Norman Powell, my player of the game, and this is another one. I said he didn't box out, and he caught a double-double. I mean, this guy just continues to say, Dime, shut up. You're wrong about everything. 31 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 3 turnovers on 10 for 23 shooting, 5 for 9 from 3. I mean, the guy just lights out. They're not even all open. 6 for 7 from the foul line, and not a lot of it's creating his own shot fully. Like, he's doing it a little bit, but it's a lot of off the catch, coming off the curl, and contested shots. He's been unreal. But yeah, what a win. And we got Toronto tomorrow night. I will be there. If you see me, say what's good. You know where I'm at after games, Clipper Nation. Laker fans, I truly apologize. I will try to watch your games this weekend and come with something this either early in the week. On Basketball and Figueroa, if I don't talk to you guys live before then, I'll have a thorough breakdown for about every game that I've missed. But yeah, hopefully I'll give you guys something. But Clipper Nation, celebrate the win. Be happy for it. It's always great to enjoy wins. 5-4 on this season. Norman Powell is literally making an all-star claim right now. I thought I was going to say one more thing about him, but I think I forgot. He's just been unbelievable. I'm very happy for the guy. And for the people that were saying to me last year that he's better than Paul George, I still don't agree because the sample size is too small. But the one thing about him is his aggression is way higher. And we already knew that. He's got more of a scoring appetite. And to be honest, he's more decisive with his moves. He's got less of a bag, but it helps him. And that's how I feel about a lot of guys that don't have as many crazy dribbling moves, but just get to it. It's part of why I think Michael Jordan's the best scorer ever. He doesn't need to do too much. He gets a shot. Anyway, that's it for me tonight, guys. Now, I am going to go to the live subscribers waiting patiently in the chat. Super chats are turned on if you want to drop $1 or a dime. Peace. And remember, download Cooler so I know when you listen to the episode and how much you guys listen, and use the invite code DIME.